Good evening. I'm kidding, it's 3:20 in the morning. Oops. How did it become 3:20 in the morning? Well, I may or may not have realized, due to skimming through the Discord I'm part of, that, yesterday? Day before yesterday? Or a couple of days ago at this point. Actually, last Thursday. Um, Apparently the fourth season of the Castlevania show dropped. I didn't know that. I hadn't really been keeping up with it. Like everything. Um, and I only realized that today, so I started a rewatch alongside finishing Dead Space 3. And for context, I've seen the first season, which may as well be a pilot movie, honestly. Um, 3 or 4 times. Watched it once just when that was all there was. Watched it again when season 2 first came out and only got halfway through season 2 because at the time I just happened to be watching it in the den for some reason. And this was, I don't know why I was watching it in there. I think me and my sister were watching it together. And then a couple episodes into season 2, Mom got home or Dad came inside or something, and we just gave the den back to him. And I never got around to picking it up and finishing it. Season 2, that is. And then when season 3 inevitably came out, I was like, well, back to the beginning yet again, because that first season's just a movie, so you might as well watch it. And then rewatched all of season 2, or rewatched the parts I had seen, and then the rest of season 2 as well as season 3. So today, up until about, honestly, the last couple of episodes of season 2, I was able to sort of half-heartedly watch while I continued finishing up Dead Space. But when it got to the last episode or two or the last few episodes, when it really starts getting into the fights, I swapped it over to the big screen and just watched that, and then put all that on hold for the most part while I finished up Dead Space 3. And then I did finish it tonight, and there's still a good game in there, I think. Is that game a Dead Space game? Debatable. There's a Dead Space game in there. But it is a little overrun with some EA garbage. One thing I will say for fucking sure, the DLC is kind of garbage. Not in terms of content. Not in terms of story content. And when I say that, I was just tired and frustrated. Maybe I'll give it another shot tomorrow. I don't know. For context, the first time I played it co-op with a friend. And it feels like it's intended for you to do that. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't dying a lot or anything, but I was just it's, without spoiling, it is an epilogue to the story. And honestly, if you're not playing it immediately after finishing the game, you are facing such an uphill battle of remembering things. And because you're basically, within the first 10 minutes, you face just about every damn enemy in the game, plus some new ones. And it's just like, it's like we just kind of reset the in-game barrage, and it hit peak when I was dealing with a faster breed of the raptors, which you probably know what I'm talking about if you know what they are. And I was just constantly getting clusterfuck, just constantly being knocked down. Wasn't in any danger of dying, but at one point I spent like a solid 15 seconds unable to do anything except quick heal while I kept getting knocked over. And it just kind of hit me, oh yeah, this is the point when you should have a co-op partner. And this DLC obviously doesn't have scaling one way or the other. Because I didn't hit any of that in the base game, and on top of that, I actually swapped to one of my older files to play the DLC, i.e. the file with the most work in it, meaning I was running heavily overclocked guns, like broken levels of guns on normal difficulty, and I was still just constantly getting harassed and battered around, and enemies were taking ridiculous amounts of damage to kill, like 2 to 3 times what they were taking in the base game. And it was just like, wow, this is just padded to hell, isn't it? And it's a shame, because I kind of wanted to remember where this story went, but I so quickly stopped caring. But I digress. After giving up on that, I watched the big conclusion episodes to Season 3, and despite it being, at the time, like, I'm pretty sure past 1 a.m., I had to see the setup to Season 4, didn't I? So I watched an episode, and then, it didn't quite get to everybody, so I watched another episode, and then another one. I think I watched 3 full ones. I know I watched 2 full ones. It was either in the beginning of the 3rd or the beginning of the 4th. I was openly saying to myself I should probably go to bed when Netflix paused playback because I had not interacted with it for too long. And I'm just like, alright, I'm getting shamed by Netflix at this point because it's 3 in the morning and I should go to sleep. So, oops. So anyway, that's this sleep cycle. I can't even call it a day. But at the same time, days like this are why I'm glad I pushed back to these being basically the last thing I do before I go to sleep. And I only say basically because there are some nights that I just can't get to sleep. So, but at the same time, all you're missing there is I laid in bed for 3 hours and hated my existence. And then finally fell asleep. The end. And not, God, what did I do after I recorded? So yeah. Anyway, all that being said, I'll catch you all tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow for somebody. For sure.